Controller is on the couch. If you could put her movie on. What? Oh my goodness. Happy Monday. I have Blake and the little Peanut home today. Well, the Peanut is always with me, but Blake is home. You hear Blake? Maybe we'll get a Blake sighting. Blake, I know my friends miss you. All my friends on Facebook. Everybody is always asking for a Blake sighting. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay, we'll get Blake on here eventually one time or another. He used to come live with me all the time, and now he's like, no. I don't know, the teenager thing, right? Okay, so happy Monday. I kept getting this, this thought and this message that, kept coming through. And I've been meaning to either write an email about this to my daily email list or to go live, and I just haven't done it. It's like I keep getting sidetracked from it, but it just keeps really kind of hitting me hard today. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go live today and talk about this because there's two things that tie into this. And hi, say hello when you're here. And I just wanted to jump on it and talk about it for a second. So, hey, Kimmy, thank you so much. I was just with my dear friend, Haith, over at the Fox 2 news station, and was on her segment for her, promoting her hair boutique. So if you are interested in having some fun with changing your hair color or style, that is the way to go. It's super fun. So thank you so much. Okay, so I wanted to talk about having a sense of control. So control can have the negative connotation attached to it, or it can have a positive. I think that you should have, obviously the positive outlook, but I know as a Libra and somebody who always needs to feel free and not feel like you're being controlled, okay, there's a different thing here. I don't like the word control in that sense. However, as a Libra who also has the sense and ability to like that free feeling, when you don't have a sense of control, things can not go well, or they can. And so I just want to talk about the whole sense of control and what it can do for you and what it does when you lose control. Okay, so I'm going to give you, share a couple of stories with regard to me, okay? So having the sense of control, meaning that you have a plan. And that's really all it comes down to, is when you have a plan, you feel like you are all buttoned up, right? Like you feel like, okay, I know what direction I'm heading in. I know exactly what I'm doing, how to get there. It's kind of like you are all mapped out and you feel I'm in control, right? I got it. I got my shit together. Okay, that's the feeling that I'm trying to relay, because it's really all about the feeling. So the feeling that you have, that you are omitting and that you're putting out every single day is going to reflect the type of life that you are going to create. Okay, so here's an example of being out of control. So when you're out of control, meaning that, here's a great example. You hear me talk about my history of drinking. Everybody knows I was a partier. I mean, I put it out there, for Pete's sake. I was always partying, always having fun, always partying. But what it did was it put me in a position or a vibration, whatever word you want to use, whatever resonates for you, of lack of control. And that also was the equivalence of lack of power. Okay, now control and power, once again, I think those two can also have this, well, I don't want to be like I'm some, I'm just this control freak, power freak. It's not about that. I mean this in every sense of the way of the positive manner. Having that sense of control will give you your power, meaning that it'll give you your strength and your confidence. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's the word that I'm trying to connect with the power and all of that, okay? So it just dawned on me I could actually download this video and send it out to my email. So this is repurposing content. Okay, so what I mean is when you have control over your actions, your thoughts, when you have intention and purpose in things, when you are mapping out your workouts, when you're mapping out your eating plan, when you're mapping out your morning routine, when you're mapping out your nighttime routine, when you are in that position, it feels good. And then what happens? You, like I said, you gain this confidence. You now have a whole different outlook. You have a whole different view of the where you're heading. It feels great. You have this whole different perception than when you're out of control. Trust me, I have been in the position many times, way too many times to count, where I have messed up from being out of control, let's say from drinking, okay? Out of control equals what? Okay, so let's say I got drunk, did something or said something that I didn't realize the next day that I did. A, feels what? Like crap. B, what does that do? It's obviously a lack of control, right? And then C, then what happens? I feel like I'm this big, and you lose the sense of power. Like, it took me a long time. Like, I just don't like the way that I would feel even just the next day, because I would worry like, uh-oh, did I do or say something? Uh-oh, like, if you're a part of my daily email, and if you want to be a part of my daily email, just comment and I'll add you. But I would wake up with this sense of, oh shit. And then I would look for clues, text messages, photos, and then I would wait for Paul to say whatever he said next would determine. I would have that sick feeling in my stomach. Did I do something? Hence all this, what does this feel like? Lack of control, hence no power. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying control other people or be such a control freak that you're so ridiculous like that. I've been there too. Trust me, as somebody that has always kind of, struggled with my identity. I've struggled with partying. I've struggled with food. I would binge and purge. I mean, I've had issues with control, obviously. Obviously I'm sharing this with you. There's a time, and I've told this story to some of my friends, where I went to dinner with one of my girlfriends. This is about 25 years ago, and she still would talk about this, how I went batshit crazy on the waiter because he brought the breadstick with the salad that I specifically told him not to bring. Now, any other normal human being, like Kelly now, would just say, oh, whatever, and just set the breadstick aside. But because I didn't have the self-control back then, I then projected and spewed this venom on him because I didn't have the self-control within myself. Do you see what I mean? So I want to just share with you that think of your actions and think of what you are doing on a daily basis. Does your actions reflect and give you a sense of being like in control, you're heading in this right pathway? Or do you feel like what you're doing is you're completely out of control and you feel this big? You know what I mean? And so we really have that choice. We really have the opportunity to change right now, this very single moment. So if you're hearing this message, or maybe somebody that needs to hear this message, please feel free to share. But the great news is that you have the opportunity to say, you know what? I don't like feeling like that. I don't like feeling out of control, and I don't like feeling powerless. There's nothing worse. I have put myself in that position so many times that I look back and think, why in the heck did I not get my shit together sooner? Like, why did I do that to myself for so long? And so if you can relate to that, then I hope that this message gives you some glimmer of hope, or, maybe like, okay, this is the message that I needed to hear today. I know what I need to do now. And who knows? Everybody has their own different sense of what they can relate to this. Maybe it's food. Maybe it's alcohol, like it used to be with me. Obviously I had issues with alcohol and food. Relationships, I mean, you name it, everything. But the good news is that I always came out of that crazy ass coma and started to figure it out, you know, and I still work on it. It's still daily work. It's still daily journaling. It's still daily, hello, old thought, goodbye, old thought. You know, it's still continuous work that I do. It's not like I feel like, oh, I've arrived. You know, I every single day have to work very hard on all of that, you know, and there's constant choices that I make every single day. You know, so if I choose this, then it'll affect that. If I choose this, it's going to affect that. If I have this, then it's going to affect that. Or if I do this, it's going to affect me and this person and that person. You know, so I have to kind of think down the road a piece. So at the end of the day, ask yourself the question, do I have that sense of control? Or maybe the life that you desire, and maybe you've never realized this, but maybe the life that you desire revolves everything. It's all revolving about the sense of control that you have, you know, and it can just start with one thing. So if you feel like you have this poor relationship, let's say with, like I said, with the food or the alcohol or all of the above, let's say it's both or 3 different things, choose one. And then when you choose one thing, then it's going to affect the other things in a positive way as well. So you don't want to try to bite off more than you can chew. So let's say cigarettes might be it. Maybe you're out of control with smoking cigarettes. Maybe, you know, that's something that where you can start, because then when you have a sense of control there, all it does is it just starts to have that wave and that kind of trickle effect on down into other things in your life. So once again, I just felt that I needed to share this message. I hope that if you heard this message, that this was something that really resonated with you. If you feel that this is something that somebody else needs to hear, then please feel free to share, okay? But at the end of the day, it really is all about, there's a process that you go through with all of this, but it really is about facing your truth and really understanding who you are as an individual and really listening to yourself and really kind of seeing yourself for who you are. You know, we all have this vision of who we think we are. We have this perception. And I don't know if you've ever been in this position before, but I have, where you think that you are portraying this, you know, that you are this individual, or that you are, you know, perceived by other people in this certain way. And then all of a sudden you realize, like, oh yeah, no, that's, you know, they don't think of me like that at all. And it's kind of like a real big eye opener. And, you know, part of that does have to do with you owning your truth. You know what I mean? And so until you start to own your truth and say, geez, I guess I was kind of a mess, or maybe I am kind of a mess. You know, and sometimes when I look back at, you know, 5, especially 10 years ago, I look back and I think, God, I thought I had my shit together. Oh my God, what a mess. I was such a mess, you know? And when I, you know, think of it, I'm like, God, oh, you know, and that is, that right there, you know, when you really kind of sit down and get real with yourself and really start to think, then, okay, this has to change, you know, and it's really all about the way that you feel. So, all right. If you have any questions, let me know, but wanted to also just be transparent with you. Once again, definitely something that I've had to work on, and I still do, you know, but when you have that sense of control, you're going to feel so much better. I promise. You feel amazing. You feel like, I can do that. I can do anything, you know, and your confidence just grows. You get more chest proud. Your shoulders are back, you know, then you just start to be more in a position in life where you look for growth and you start seeking those things, and you start to get in that position of, okay, like this is way better being over on this side of the fence, you know? So have a wonderful day. I have to roll because I got to charge my computer. I have a meeting here shortly, but just wanted to hop on and say hi. Also, if you had missed earlier, that I now look for a link too, but I really want you to check out my friend Haith's boutique, her little wig boutique. She had me in a blonde updo this morning. She also had put me originally in a long brunette wig as well. And wigs are just really fun. I mean, they're really in, and it's really something that you can play around with, you know, without making this permanent change. So she's over in Ferndale if you're local. But if you're just hopping on, just go back and watch the replay. And thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.